What's up, Madridistas? You know what's great? Real Madrid's win in San Mamés tonight. You know what else is great? Black Friday. We never do this, but for this time, for the first time, and this time only, we're actually running a discount on Managing Madrid memberships. Head on over to patreon.com/Managing Madrid and use code Black Friday, all one word, to get a 50. That's right, I said 50% discount. If you've wanted to get all the bonus content, including the upcoming Manchester City post-game show, now is the time to sign up. Patreon.com/Managing Madrid. Use code Black Friday. That's one word, Black Friday.
Nice article in the Managing Madrid blog. Wonderful lads that do a great job there. And worth reading about that man there. Karim Benzema needs to rest, and the numbers reveal why.
Times ended up almost looking like a 6-3-1. Some very good writing about that on the Managing Madrid website. First rate podcast as well. Of course, Valverde was a huge part of the equation.
Hello and welcome to the Managing Madrid Podcast after Real Madrid have beaten Athletic Club in San Mamés, one of the historically most difficult games of the season on the schedule, even with Athletic being in the form they are. Leah, how you doing?
Better now. It's about time. This roller coaster of emotions. I can't do it. So,
No therapy tonight. It's
thank
like,
goodness.
even if this is not the turning point, it's nice to just have one day where it's like a break from negativity, where we can just be happy.
I saw tweets all day that were like, don't threaten me. Like Real Madrid plays today. Don't threaten me. Don't threaten me. So my expectations were low, but I'm feeling great.
Well, we'll start from the top because I think one of the things that will dictate the conversation is the starting lineup that Xabi Alonso put. And by the way, just a heads up, guys, that we're going to move at a pretty fast pace today. And I know we always say this, we say this often, that we're trying to do this in 30 minutes. But it's generally impossible because we love yapping. But today we really only have 20 to 30 minutes. And that's like pretty much hard cap. So we're going to try to move at a faster pace. And if there are super chats, we will address them at the end. The starting lineup today, Trent, Militao, Rudiger, Carreras, Tchouaméni, CamavingaFede, Valverde, Jude Bellingham, Kylian Mbappe, Vinicius Jr. A lot of the conversations we've been having leading up to this game, Leah, has been like, can all these guys play together? And Arda was the odd man out today. In part, and I think part of this is actually that, and I said this before the game, and I think most 99% of the people would agree that if you had to choose between one of Jude and Arda, Jude is clearly the better player and someone you could build your team around, as much as I love Arda and as much as I think he'll continue to grow and become better. But also, like, if you're going to try to bench one of them to see if it would click better, if they don't get in each other's way as much, benching Arda is the easiest one to bench in the sense that it comes with the less noise because he's the youngest of them all, and he still is not as established as the other players. But either way, I think we can bring the Arda discussion forward. I thought it looked really good today, Leah, especially in that first half. The second half was, to me, more about game management and just making sure we close it out. Militao had 11 clearances by the end of the game. Unfortunately, also, but he didn't leave injured, but two other players did, which kind of dampens the mood a little bit. Camavinga and Trent. I really liked it. I'd be curious to get your assessment on the lineup and also the way the team functioned in the first half.
I have two thoughts. My first thought is I like Tchouaméni Camavinga as a double pivot. I think it's clear before that it works well. I also liked having Tchouaméni, Camavinga, and Valverde on the field at one time. I think if Fede is going to play anywhere, if Fede is going to play in and around that right-hand side, I think he's more suited up the field than at right back, no matter how good he is. So I think that worked really well. I'm happy with this lineup. I'm sad to have to drop. Like, as the season goes on, I think it's more and more clear with injuries and form and structure, who should start and who shouldn't. And I know you and I both are Team Arda, but I think like if it's any indication how this structure and how the team kind of was cohesive today, and the first half was the best first half we probably had all season, debatably. I think it's clear now what the lineup should be. I also am not confident that that will be the lineup in our next match, given the track record. So,
Yeah, I mean, there has been a little bit of a brief history here this season where we try something, it looks good, maybe we don't go back to it. But I don't know. I feel like this was something that Xabi was trying to see if he can, you know, make it work with this lineup, and maybe he took a page out of this and said like, okay, well, that was encouraging. Obviously, by default, this is not going to be replicated next game because already we have Trent and Camavinga injuries, and Lucas was reporting, according to his club sources, unfortunately, that they actually are substantial enough that they probably won't play against Manchester City, although it remains to be seen. So by default, you'll probably see Goulet back in the lineup for Camavinga, I assume, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. I think if you look at the midfield and you look at the profiles in midfield, it made sense the way we played today with those profiles, in that it was a balanced two-way performance. It had physicality, which is something that's usually needed in a stadium like San Mamés. It had we had a mid-block, and that allowed us to both attack in unison and defend in unison, which I thought was very good. If you look at our second goal, I think it was the Camavinga goal, look at how many players we had attacking the box in that situation. And then we're also defending well in transition. And it's a good, solid kind of like quote unquote in between to be, where if you're not going to go in a low block and you're not going to be an aggressive pressing team, this is really good. A mid block is generally solve some of that issue because you can get a bit of both. You can have Mbappe and Vinny roaming up top together in like a 4-3-1-2 kind of thing. And they're moving well. They have fluidity. They're roaming. Vinny goes to the right quite a bit. Mbappe goes to the right. Mbappe goes to the left. And I thought they linked up really well together in this game. And we had some terrific long-range passing from Trent and Militao to actually set those guys free. Militao deserved an assist today. But Vinny, I thought, created a ton of danger, but his finishing, which was not good. But I don't think there's anyone today where I would look at and I would be disappointed with. I thought everyone was pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. I think that to your point about fluidity and kind of like balance, I think the balance in midfield and the reliability defensively in midfield allows our attackers to have a little more flexibility and a little more space. That can also result in a lack of pressing, but I don't feel like we saw much of that today. Like I feel like our attackers still dropped accordingly and defended where needed. Vinny's finishing, like I prefer this kind of performance from Vinny rather than like you know what I mean? Like he was in his element. He, was dangerous. His finishing sucked, but he had that like, like showing that they were up by 3 goals to the Bilbao fans. Like I think that is the Vinny that we'd rather see than like
I don't know how you feel. I have zero issue with that.
Same. I have no issue.
Like when this drives me nuts. This Stuart Robson on ESPN talking about like how it's you shouldn't be doing that. Like it's banter, man. I swear, anyone else who does it, it's banter and it's trash talk. But when Vinny does it, it's like you shouldn't be doing that. I personally, I'm big on trash talk as long as you can back it up. Obviously, it looks really stupid if you can't, but I'm okay with the trash talk and the banter there.
Even if you can't, I feel like that's part of the game. Like that is part of the game of football in its entirety. Everyone does it. It's not just like specific to Vinicius Jr., but given the agenda, it's just, we all know how ESPN feels about Vinny Jr. So that's all I'll say.
I do think, and it's not really a criticism. I mean, I think it's just that I would have liked to have had maybe more goals, like converting some of those chances we had. Just because, I mean, I thought Vinny and Mbappe had some really good link-up sequences, 1-2s, where their speed and just one-touch passing was just too much to deal with for Athletic. And if you just put away one of those, I think at least one of those chances should have gone in. In the end, you still outperformed your XG, 3 XG from 2.37. And this was a very, very strong performance. I'd like to give, obviously Mbappe gets his flowers. There's no question. I mean, by the time he looked up and shot his second goal in, it was just so absurd that he just basically treated that long distance shot as if it was a 6-yard tap in. It was so effortless.
Yeah.
He just looked up and slammed it into the net. But
16
I'd like
goals
to give
already in La Liga.
how many?
Crazy. 16.
16, and I think it's 25 overall.
Insane.
It's
December.
December 3rd.
December.
It doesn't even make sense to have that many goals in December 3rd. Just freak numbers. I'd like to give Jude Bellingham his flowers. And obviously there's no shortage of flowers that I've given him. But the way he made it all tick, especially in that first half. And again, second half was more about game management from the whole team. 6 tackles today, far and away the most of anyone on the field. Look at just his movement and passing in the build-up to Camavinga's goal. Just some of his touches in traffic and his ability to escape pressure and just kind of spin around his marker is really impressive. And just the fact that he's again doing so many things all over the field in a good way. He's everywhere. I thought this is part of the reason why I would kind of like to see how this would build together with Vinny and Mbappe up top with Jude just behind. I think it's something that I would just like to see more of.
Yeah,
I thought he was fantastic.
Yeah, I think this is the thing about Jude Bellingham is like people often fail to realize what he does aside from goals and assists when he does score or assist. Like how he contributes to the build-up on or off the ball. I think people are very like sofa score, sports stat, like goals and assists. But the same with Fede Valverde. I think it's the same conversation.
What did you think of Fede today? I'm curious.
I didn't think he was bad. I think just average performance, wasn't outstanding and wasn't bad. I think generally overall, let me see, what was his overall rating at the end of the game? 7.4. I think could be better, could be worse, generally.
I thought it was mostly encouraging.
Yeah.
Like I thought his ball carrying was mostly back today. He was carrying the ball through the lines. He was taking care of the possession for the most part. I think one of the interesting things is that like what I had always envisioned when Trent signed, I always made this point that like Trent never had a midfielder on that right side as good as Fede Valverde at Liverpool. And I'd just be curious to see like how that would mesh, like how Fede could mask some of Trent's defensive issues. And I thought we saw glimpses of it today in that like anytime Trent went to take a corner, Fede seamlessly shifted to right back and defended in transition. And it was like, well, that's his natural tendency now. We kind of saw with Camavinga too behind Carreras. Camavinga would drift from the double pivot. Bellingham was, and this is where I thought like our effort was mostly back. Courtois did have to make a couple big saves where we did switch off. So I'm not saying it's perfect defensively, but I did think for the most part, we were starting to cover the spaces better. We were starting to cover for our wing backs. We were starting to be more cognizant of what we needed to do, both defensively and offensively. Again, we had numbers in the box. We had numbers in transition. And I thought it was overall a complete performance, not a perfect performance, but a good step in the right direction. So now you get to go back home, Salta. And I think in some weird way, Manchester City in some weird way comes at the right time because they're a big name that if you beat, gives you confidence, but they're also not among the elite that could really hurt you, like the PSG, Arsenal, Bayerns right now.
Yeah.
So in some ways, I think Manchester City actually rolls around at the right time. Time will tell if I'm correct on that or not. But
I have a few things to say. So Fede Valverde, I think, as I was saying at the beginning of this, I think if he's going to start, if he's going to be anywhere, if if Camavinga and Tchouaméni are going to start a double pivot, I think that's the best position for him, right wing. Because is he going to be like a out and out right wing? Maybe not. But it allows him the flexibility to drop for Trent. And then it also allows him the flexibility to drift inwards and be like kind of at the top of the box on the attack to, you know, get any rebounds, long shots, anything that like we know that he's good at. I think that makes perfect sense. Defensively, I'm like much obviously happier. We're done with left back roulette. I'm happy about that because I think unanimously Carrera should be the one starting on the left. I think that's a given. Rudiger and Militao. Militao had a knock against Olympiacos, if I'm remembering correctly. He went off. Did he?
Militao did leave in the 77th minute. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think his early substitution was just like a precaution to kind of save his health, if you will, for the next upcoming matches. But I think given that he did go off with a knock and he's back and fine, Rudiger, same thing, is like just kind of coming back from injuries. So I'm like content with that performance. I think this should be our back line. Asensio, I think, had a good cameo. I'm happy with that.
He's been good overall this season, and he was good today.
Yeah, I think that he's good to rely on. He's like a Nacho. If he can like fully like encompass that role for the time being, as long as we have Rudiger and Militao as like a Nacho type role, he played, you know, as a wing back, he played as a center back. I think he has that versatility, and he also has that like grit, if you will, that Nacho had. City coming at a good time, I agree, because Celta is our first game back at home before City, which after like what, 7 matches on the road or something crazy. So I think that's a good like confidence boost to be back home, fans, all of that before City. I think that'll be good. Those are my thoughts.
For sure. I do just wanted to mention something about Asensio. What you brought him up. And obviously, like, man, like it really left a sour taste in my mouth that Trent got injured after his, you know, he's been so good since coming back, and you don't really want to see again another derailment in his momentum. Camavinga also played well today, and he played well in that game against Olympiacos away. Then he didn't start the next game. And this is unfortunately the stop-start nature of Camavinga's career. It sucks. Kind of comes with the territory.
Yeah.
But I did want to mention Asensio again because, you know, one of the things that I think has pleasantly surprised me in that I think Militao and Asensio both are better than I thought they were going to be in this past summer. Militao, you know, coming back from the ACLs and you just had no idea, and he's back to his best. Asensio looks back to where he was, you know, when he broke out initially. We thought he was amazing. So it's just good to have those two bodies playing at that high level. One thing, because we got to get to super chats because we're already running out of time. But did you notice that funny moment when Mbappe nutmegged Adama off the ball? I thought it was hilarious.
No.
It was very funny. But there was also another moment that I thought like what just blew my mind. And it was like in the 65th minute where I just started to think to myself, wow, I should really go to moji-mates.com.
Oh my God, you caught me off guard again.
I was trying to think of what to say, and the Mbappe nutmeg thing was just me buying time because I wasn't sure how I was going to do it. They have Black Friday sale, and it's 30% off. You use code Black Friday, one word. They got bundles now. Like, they got Legends bundles. Has there ever been a time where you just go to moji-mates.com and you just click on it and they don't have new stuff? There's always new stuff.
There is.
They got Ronaldo bundles. They got Goat Pack if you're into that stuff. If you have maybe a Barca friend, you want to bundle Ronaldo and Messi. But you also have Real Madrid legends, Cristiano, Benzema, and then there's a bunch of legends you can choose from. They got bags, sweaters, T-shirts. Go to moji-mates.com. Use code Black Friday, one word, for 30% off. Super chats, Leah.
These are so good. I fear you can never do a regular Moji Mates ad ever again.
I'm setting the bar too high. I probably should go back and do some random mundane one to even out the playing field. Shout out to our new YouTube member, Cherry Sorial 7. Welcome to the family. Zaid says, this felt like City prep, very direct, second balls, pressing high, no Arda or build up from the back, no possession, forced transitions, exploit the weak back line. We touched on this a little bit. Do you have anything to add?
No, I agree. I think being home and having a little bit of a confidence boost will be like cherry on top.
The no Arda up or build up from the back. I have literally nothing bad to say about Arda ever. I mean, I think he does make mistakes sometimes. Maybe he's not as polished in certain things, and that comes with experience. And even when he works hard, he's not physically as able as someone like Jude Bellingham, obviously. But I think one of the things that sometimes we over discuss is like, oh, like we need controllers. I'm not saying we don't get me wrong. We need people like that in the squad. But what I am saying is that sometimes when you have certain profiles, there are other ways of playing. And I think today was an example of that.
Yeah, agreed.
Oops, I skipped one.
Also,
two.
Before you go just about City, unfortunately, I think it'll already be different against City unless Trent and Camavinga are back.
Oh,
I know
yeah.
that briefly, but
yeah.
Sad.
And look, it's not like Jude and Arda haven't coexisted.
Right.
Apart from that Atletico game when Jude came back, we lost. We went on a big win streak with Arda and Jude together, including the Barca game where they both look really good, I thought. Apart from Arda's mistake on the goal. So we'll see how it goes. I think today actually it wasn't just the profiles that were on the field. It's also just the way Xabi approached it with the two up top and kind of shifting into a lower block. And I thought defending was good and attacking was good.
I'm so sorry. Do you think we'll see? What are the odds that you think we'll see Asensio at right back and Fede at right wing?
Oh, 50-50.
Because I feel like that could be.
It could be an option. I would probably lean towards maybe actually 70-30 chance that Fede would just play right back.
Yeah. I think that's the obvious choice.
Yeah.
But
I mean, Asensio obviously at right back is an option especially if it enables Fede to play in midfield, where he would rather play. And obviously just a different kind of right back to Fede and Trent. But also, I mean, solid defensively and is a good ball progressor. He's a good long range passer as well. Not obviously on Trent level, but he's pretty reliable there. I'd be happy with either option, to be honest.
Yeah. Agreed.
41 Saba says we saw Carlo ball from 2024, every piece in its place. 2024 was definitely the last time I enjoyed watching the team play.
Yeah. Move.
Not even all of it. Like there were definitely I remember even those games against Leipzig over two legs where we survived that thanks to Lunin. But but like Bayern, those two legs we were pretty solid. We had Toni Kroos, and obviously things just tick differently. But yeah, this did kind of feel more like from Carlo ball from 2-3 years ago.
Good old times. The glory days, if you will.
Coconut Skin says, I loved how Alonso kept calming the team when counter press didn't work and signaling them to calm in the mid block. Quick in possession, more of this.
Period.
Good vibes today. We saw Camavinga and Mbappe do the celebration they were practicing in training.
What are the odds that they got to do that though? Isn't that crazy? Like stars have to align for Camavinga doesn't score, nor does he assist very often, nor does he play very often. So,
but don't you think they would have done it if Mbappe had scored anyway?
Yeah, probably.
Or do you think that celebration is reserved for the Camavinga? I don't know what the rules are.
I don't know.
Hey,
but
either way,
stars
good
aligned.
vibes. Good vibes until next game when we're having a heart attack and we're like, what happened?
We'll
Carlitos Guay 96 says, deep breath, guys. We're gonna be all right.
We'll see.
This definitely feels like it's like we're coming up for air. After drowning for a month straight, it's just like a breath of air after this game to breathe a little bit.
Yeah, literally. But this is the cycle. Do you remember like a few years ago, it was like the Marco Asensio cycle? It was like a meme that was like, has a good game, starts, has a shit game, gets benched, comes on, has a good game. And it was like a cycle. I feel like that is our new cycle, but like from a team perspective. You know what I mean? We have a good game and then we shit the bed for like 2 and then we have another good game. So I just like to have consistency, I think.
Asensio, the Asensio era, I have like a whole podcast of thoughts on. But yes, yeah, it was very frustrating. Cherry says Jude is incomparable when he sets his mind on assisting in goals versus tapping them in.
I mean,
I like the first part of this.
Yes, but
I think
no.
the second part seems like a bit of a backhanded compliment. I know that's not what Cherry's intending, but I do think, like, isn't there a universe, Leah, where he didn't score all those goals that season to begin the season, and we appreciate this stuff more? Does that make sense?
Yeah. I also hate this like rhetoric around tapping goals because
you and I have had like multiple
it
clips
drives
about
me.
this.
Yeah, stop me because we're gonna be here for so much longer if I go into this tangent. But anyways, if you know, you know, chat. If you know, you know.
Yeah. Just taking a quick look at the quotes. Xabi Alonso says the team came out from the first minute determined to win the game. Good intensity, good rhythm, good concentration. Dominated the first half. While it's true we didn't have as much possession in the second, we still maintained control. Mbappe, people waxing lyrical about Mbappe, Courtois, Xabi Alonso. Yeah. This is pretty much as good as it's going to get for our efficiency levels today. Ever. 26 minutes. Oh, of course, the super chats keep coming in, so we can't even. we got to keep going. Timmy B says Kylian had scored before the celebration, so there's that.
That's true.
Yes, exactly. So maybe that proves the theory. So Camavinga has to score for the celebration to happen. Let's keep our eye on this. I'm going to rely on you, Leah.
Insane? If you think about it, they were practicing it as though they were both going to score. They would do this if they scored or assisted. And then they both were crazy.
The rest of Super Chat is they probably had to both be involved for that celebration to come out. Let's also just reflect on that goal. I mean, again, look, it starts with Bellingham, finds the right pass out wide to Trent. Trent sees Mbappe, who was wide open for a far post header, redirects it to Camavinga. Terrible defending from Athletic. I don't know what the hell they were doing, but that's not our fault. So we took advantage of it. We didn't even talk about the first goal. We only talked about Mbappe's second goal was insane. The second goal was a beautiful team goal, and the first goal was crazy because, I mean, Trent also just like drops his shoulder, effortlessly glides past Nico Williams under pressure, puts in this perfect pass to Mbappe. Mbappe, incredible first touch, gets past one man, past another, and scores.
Insane. And also, Trent also deserves we talked about this a little bit, but he deserves his flowers, and it's a shame that he's injured again. Because I would love to see him it's like a roller coaster. Well, yeah, I guess that's the saying. But like, you know what I mean? He hits this peak and then he gets injured again, and we don't get to see him like continue. So
yeah,
hopefully.
We're gonna close it out with a donation from Thor Ikabar. Thank you, Thor Akbar. Actually, sorry. Thank you for the donation, Leah. Any concluding thoughts here?
I hope we continue this consistency and have a similar lineup against Celta Vigo. That's all I have to say.
For sure. If we missed anything, and I'm sure we did, I'm just looking at my notes. There are some things about like Carreras who I thought was solid, good overloads, good 1v1 defending. Courtois, obviously, big again.
Got minutes.
Gigi got minutes. Rodrigo got minutes.
Sad.
Brahim. Obviously, Gigi was the one. I didn't really notice much. I mean, I was kind of at that point just starting to prep for the podcast and finishing up some work. But yeah, guys, we're very aware there's probably a bunch of stuff we missed, but we had to run it short today. Leah, thank you. Appreciate your time.
Likewise.
And Lucas and I will be back for our members tomorrow. It's going to be mailbag. So if you want access to that and actually 2 episodes for members tomorrow, again, We got Black Friday sale, very rare occurrence. Patreon.com/Managing Madrid. Use code Black Friday, one word, for 50% off. Thanks, guys. See you tomorrow. Thank you, Leah. Peace out.
Bye.